Bitcoin-backed loans let you unlock dollars from your Bitcoin without selling it or giving up total control. With Debifi, you can use your Bitcoin as collateral while ensuring that the lender cannot re-lend your Bitcoin. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to get a Bitcoin-backed loan whenever you need it. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know about getting a Bitcoin-backed loan using Debifi. We'll cover setting up your account, securing it properly, browsing loan offers, and using the Coldcard Q in a multisig setup to ensure your Bitcoin remains protected. Finally, I'll show you how to receive and repay your loan so you can access liquidity whenever you need it. Now, before we dive in, there are a few key things you'll want to understand to get the most out of this tutorial. Number one, you should be comfortable with the basics of sending and receiving Bitcoin transactions. If that's new to you, I've linked my Bitcoin basics video in the show notes down below. You'll also want to know and be familiar with how to use Aqua wallet, which is the wallet that I prefer when handling USDT, aka Tether, a stablecoin, on the Liquid network. There are other options out there, but Aqua is a solid choice for this use case. I've linked my tutorial on that app as well down below. And finally, for this tutorial, I'm going to be utilizing the Coldcard Q to add an extra layer of security when securing the loan contract. However, this step is, of course, optional. You can use just the Debifi app alone if you don't feel the need for this added robustness. I'll point this option out when we reach that step in the video. Other than that, we're all ready to go. If any of the concepts that I just discussed with you are new, then you can feel free to step out. Check those links in the show notes down below. Those tutorials are there and ready for you when you need them. Let's dive in. Okay, so here we are. I have the Debifi.com website pulled up. You can also see that I've downloaded the Debifi app on my phone here. I've got a couple other things handy as well. I've got the Google Authenticator app and I've got Aqua wallet. Again, if you're unfamiliar with any wallet or tool that we use in this Debifi specific tutorial, you can check the show notes. I've got a video on Aqua. I've also got a video on the Coldcard, as I've said before. Nonetheless, we're going to go through the account creation process and making the app, the website, and Google Authenticator work together for us. So here, I'm going to go into the Debifi app first on my phone, and I'm going to enable notifications. I'm going to hit allow here, and then I'm going to hit create account. First, I'm going to use an email address that will be associated with this account, and then I'll hit create account or log in. I'll receive a verification code at my email, which I'll then enter here. My account is now verified. I'll hit continue. So it says I'm going to need a PIN code to secure access to the app. I'm going to need a two-factor authentication, which is the Google Authenticator that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to back up the private keys to be able to restore my Debifi account. That last one is very important. There are no such thing as backups for that, or there's no such thing as being able to recover your account if you do not have this backup private key. So we'll set the PIN code first, and we need a 6-digit PIN code. Again, for this demo, I'll use something very simple, but I encourage you to use something a little bit better than what I'm about to do. Now that I've created my PIN code, I can hit continue, and now I'm going to set up 2FA. So here what I will be doing is I'm going to be copying the code below the QR code here. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to navigate over to my Authenticator app, which I have here. And just a side note, when I open the Authenticator app, it will blank out the screen here. If I'm able to, I'll grab a screenshot of what I'm doing so that you fully understand. But the Authenticator app, when I open it, there's a little plus sign in the bottom right that allows me to add a new account. And it gives me the option to either scan a QR code or enter a setup key. In this case, because we've copied said key from the Debifi app, we would choose that option. We would give a name to the account that we're dealing with, And then we would save that information, and it will create a rotating 6-digit code that changes every 60 seconds, I believe. And so this special code will be used here in the Debifi app in order to do verifications here in this 2FA code box. So we're going to need to grab that 6-digit code first and paste it in here to set up the 2FA and have it settled. But then when we want to do important actions in the app with Debifi later, it will ask for our 2FA code, which means we open up Google Authenticator and we copy that 6-digit code by pressing on it. So I'm going to copy that code now. We'll jump over again to the Authenticator app. And we'll jump back here where I can paste in the code. With two-factor authentication now set, I can hit continue. And now it's going to give me a private key, which pertains to my Debifi account. It says back up your private keys to be able to restore your Debifi account. You need to write down your seed phrase. This is a series of English words, much like when you're setting up a regular Bitcoin wallet. You need to verify the seed phrase, and then you can add a passphrase for extra security. Now, in this video, we are actually going to be using our Coldcard for the key to our multisig in our loan. So I wouldn't say you need to go so far as to add a passphrase here for security's sake, because the key that we're generating here is only just to be able to log in and get to your account from different devices, but it won't actually be part of the loan structure. So no funds will actually be at risk with this seed phrase. So if you're using the main key generated here for your loan, then you may want to consider a passphrase, but that is, again, up to you. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tap on Set Backup or Start Backup. This is going to roll through 12 words for me. I'm going to write them down, and if there's going to be a sizable amount of funds allocated to them, aka you're not using a Coldcard for this, you may also want to consider putting them in steel. There's lots of options for that. And you can keep them a little bit more securely, so if there is a fire or something, you still have access to them. After word number 12, it gives you the option to finish and verify the backup, which I'll do now. And it's going to ask me some questions about the phrase I just wrote down. Again, you simply type in the correct word and hit next, and it's going to go through all of your backup. And when I hit finish here, it says backup completed. I have the option to add a passphrase for protection or continue without. For this example, I will continue without. Now, once again, we're going to link our account to the device with our two-factor. Again, to start working with Debifi, I'm going to go back to our 2FA app and copy the code. All right, we're ready to go. I'll hit continue. And this is where we now have access to check available offers, which I'm going to actually do in the browser here just to make it a little bit easier to navigate. So over in the browser, now that we've set up the Debifi app with two-factor, we can do it from our computer as well, which gives us a little bit more versatility in the navigation. So over here in the browser, I'm going to hit login, and I'm going to paste in my email address and click that. And then it's going to email me a verification code, which I'll grab from my email. I'll copy that code and paste it into the website. And then we need our two-factor authentication code. And hit confirm. The app will then confirm that I'm logging in. I get a notification here, which I can tap on. It says, hey, is this you trying to log in on the following computer? I can say yes. All right. So we are logged in on the main computer here. There's a section up top that says loan offers. And this is where we're able to browse through some of the various offers that are available to us. We have a drop down to choose local currencies that are available. So perhaps US dollars. We can search by specific amounts. We can also search from borrowers or corporate. And then we also have options for KYC or no KYC, meaning do you have to give additional info to the lender or not? Is it just fine to have the collateral in the multisig and that's all you need? So let's just take a look at the general layout of what an offer may look like. So here we see the issuer and the offer type. This gives the name of the issuer and the type of offer, a corporate offer or to any borrower. So obviously I'm not a corporation here that's looking, I'm an individual. So I'd be looking for one that says any borrower. And then over in the second row here, I can see the amounts that you can borrow. So if I'm not looking for, $500,000 and I'm not a corporation, then that wouldn't apply to me, but I can go down and I can see other offers for 5,000 or in and around that range, 10,000, something like that. It really depends on what you're looking for. You can also see the loan currency and method, meaning how are you receiving the loan? Is it via USDT, aka Tether on Liquid? There are also options for other stable coins on other chains. I am obviously a Bitcoiner, so I would be leaning towards Tether on Liquid, which is also why I'm looking at Aqua wallet when I do this, so I can sort through that. In the next column, we can see the loan period. The period can be up to between 3 and 9 months, 10 to 12 months, 3 to 9 months. The APR, the annual percentage rate, the percent of interest that you're going to pay on an annual basis. Now, if you go less than a full year, then that would be adjusted to your loan period. So you may not be paying a full percentage that's listed here if you only take a 3-month loan. The loan to value ratio is how much collateral, or rather how much of a loan do you get based on the collateral you put in. So you put in $1,000, how many dollars do you get to borrow? So when you have an LTV of 50%, it means half the value of your collateral will be loaned to you. So you give $1,000, you'll get a $500 loan. You give $10,000, you'll get a $5,000 loan. As that percentage increases, so too does the amount of the loan that you will receive. So 60% on $1,000 is $600. 70% on $10,000 is $7,000. Now, it's important to make sure that you're aware that as the price of Bitcoin fluctuates, if it drops a certain amount, you may be required to add more collateral to get back to this ratio. And we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. Now, finally, the last column here gives you hey, do you need to are you required to give different information, ID of any sorts when it comes to the loan? So you can see some of these do require that, others do not, and you can check those and choose your loans based on your own discretion. Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions. CoinKite has been in the game for years, creating hands down the best and most secure hardware when it comes to securing your Bitcoin. The Coldcard Q is an absolute powerhouse and my daily driver, and it's ideal for newcomers and advanced users alike. The Tap Signer gives you a low-cost, user-friendly option for those just getting started or for convenience when traveling. You can head to coinkite.com and use code BTC Sessions for discounts, or simply scan the QR code on the screen to get started right away. So let's now take a closer look at actually choosing and accepting a contract to borrow. So I've got a demo contract here, and we can see that this is a small contract for $50 US, and it will go to, you will receive rather, USDT on the Liquid network. The period's anywhere from 1 to 12 months, 7% APR, loan to value is 70%, and it's non-KYC. So I can say that I want to borrow up to $50 US. So I'm going to just go ahead and do the full amount there. I can choose where I want to borrow, like what asset I'm going to be borrowing. There's only one option here, which is USDT on Liquid. And then my period, I can choose how long of a contract I want, but I'll just leave it at 1 month for this example. So APR, or annual percentage rate, is 7%. The amount of interest that I'll be paying on $50 is 29 cents. The repayment amount is $50.29 total. Of course, this will vary based on the amount you're borrowing and the APR that you're paying and the length of time that you're borrowing for. Down below, it says they need a liquid payment address. So what that is where am I going to receive my loan to? And so for this example, I'm going to be using Aqua wallet because it's very, very simple to deal with Tether and Liquid with that particular wallet. So I'm going to open Aqua wallet and I'll get myself a receiving address for the loan. So here in Aqua, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Tether. I'm going to click on Receive, and I'm going to simply copy the address here that is listed. I'll go over and I will paste in that address. Outside of that, everything looks good to go. Over here, we can see loan amount in stablecoin will be $50. The origination, there's a 1.5% fee, which is about $1.20. So that'll be paying. And the collateral amount to be deposited. So remember, I can borrow 70% for this particular contract. I can borrow 70% of the funds that I deposit here. So I need an additional deposit to secure my loan. So I need to deposit $73.04 worth of Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to hit accept offer. Perfect. So at this point, I need to initiate the contract. We are collecting public keys from all the associated parties. Remember, this is part of a multisig, and one of the keys is mine. The other key is from Debifi, and the third key is from the lender. And so it says, provided public keys will be used to generate a unique multisig setup, escrow setup. Please provide your public key to proceed. So when I click on provide public key, it says notification has been sent to your Debifi mobile app. Please proceed to the app. We can see I have a notification here in the Debifi app, and it says public key required. Provide your public key to initiate. So I'm going to tap on that and see what it shows me. Here is the contract with all of the metrics that we laid out previously. And then it asks me to provide a public key from a source. We're going to hit select source. So we have some options here. We have the Debifi secure storage. That's the in-app public key. That's the one that we have created here in the app that we wrote down the seed phrase for at the very beginning. But we do have other options. They have the Coldcard Mark IV and the Coldcard Q. So we can use a key from a hardware device in this setup. So I'm going to actually go ahead and do that. We're going to be utilizing the Coldcard Q. So we're going to jump over to the desk and I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do with the Coldcard in order to import the key for this multisig setup. All right, so I now have the Debifi app open here. I also have my Coldcard Q, which is logged in. I've already put in my PIN. If you're unfamiliar with the Q, again, check in the show notes down below. I'll also link to the video on the Coldcard Q and how to use it with NFC in the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. But here we are. I'm going to click on Coldcard Q here in the Debifi app. I've now selected it. It says public key source, new Coldcard Q. I'm going to say provide public key. And it gives us some options. There's the NFC method and the air gap method. Okay. And so I'm going to use the NFC method. It's the simplest, easiest way to do it with a mobile app here. So I'm going to tap here. So it gives us our steps of what we need to do, which is nice and convenient in the app here. Make sure that NFC has been enabled on your Coldcard device. As a reminder, anybody unfamiliar with that, you just go to settings, you say hardware on and off, and you make sure that NFC sharing has a little check mark beside it. If it doesn't, go down to it, hit enter, and it will ask you if you want to turn it on. Let's go back to the main screen here. Okay. Now that we have that enabled, let's hit next. It says, please provide the public key via NFC. Here's the instructions. Step number 3, head over to advanced/tools, export wallet, generic JSON, and then we're going to continue on from there. But let's start with that. We'll go to advanced/tools, export wallet, and then we're looking for generic JSON. It's near the bottom of the list right here. Okay, at this point, we're going to hit enter, and it will say generating. And then we have an option of how to export it. We can save it to an SD card. It can be a QR, but we're going to hit the NFC button over here on the left-hand side, and then we'll hit start transfer in our Debifi app. So we'll hit the NFC button. There's our notification that it's turned on. We're going to hit start transfer. And we're now going to make contact with the NFC. Depending on your phone, iPhones, NFC is up top. My Google Pixel is going to be somewhere near the middle here. And it says, here's your public key information. Does that look good? I'm going to confirm it in the app. It needs a PIN code. Success. Public key is provided. You've provided your public key. I can hit close. And here we go. We're now awaiting the lender's public key. So once they've provided it, we'll be off to the races and ready to get moving on our loan. And just to show a quick update here on our desktop, you can see that it's updated now in the browser as well. You have successfully provided the public key. We are now awaiting the lender's public key. You will receive a notification once the lender has completed this step. So we'll just wait for that to happen and we'll continue on. All right, so the lender has added their key, and we can see on both desktop and mobile, we require a signature to sign the start of the contract. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that now. We'll jump over to the desk again so you can see what we're doing with the Coldcard. Really, at this point, you know, the desktop is just kind of a nice little bonus that allows us to see things in an expanded view, but you can be working primarily from the application at this point. Either way, let's jump over and take a peek. Again, here with the app and the Coldcard Q, we're going to tap on the notification that says signature required. Please sign to start the contract. Okay, so it says that we need to sign. Again, here's our details of the contract just being reiterated here. and we'll hit sign contract. We're going to enter a PIN code. And there we go. We have signed. Actually, we didn't even need the Coldcard Q. This was signing the contract, I believe, just locally with the key for our Debifi account. So I'll hit success. And now we're just waiting the lender's contract signing as well. Okay, so we're now going to go ahead and deposit Bitcoin into our Collateral multisig account. It says a unique multisig Bitcoin escrow address has been generated for this contract. Please use the address below to transfer the specified Bitcoin amount to the escrow. The total amount encompasses both the collateral and the origination fee. You can make multiple transfers to meet the required amount. So if you do accidentally send too little, don't worry, you can top it up from there. But ideally, you just want to send over a single transaction. So I see the amount of Bitcoin required and the address I need to send to. Now, you're going to be doing this via the browser. If you take a look here in the app, if I click here, it says, please go to debifi.com to deposit the escrow, but it does give us a status on, hey, do we have what we need yet? And no, we still need to deposit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out of this wallet. I'm going to open up Aqua wallet. This again is where we're going to be receiving our loan, but let's go back here. So I'm going to send the Bitcoin over from Aqua wallet, since this is where we're going to be receiving our loan to. May as well keep ourselves in the same environment. So I'm going to click on Bitcoin. I'm going to choose send. So I'm sending an on-chain Bitcoin transaction. And let's copy that Bitcoin address and we'll paste it in here. And then I'll hit continue. And now we need our Bitcoin amount. So I will copy that over on Debifi. From there, I can hit continue. We'll just review really quick. The recipient will receive 0.000087212. That looks the same here. And it's going to this address. Check the first and last few digits to make sure they look the same. That looks good to me. I can change my fee priority. I'll set I'm going to bump it up just a little bit in case there's a little fee spike. Maybe I'll do 6 sats per byte there. That looks good to me. And I'm going to slide to send. So that goes off. And then in a moment, Debifi should be able to detect that there has been a deposit to the address, and we'll see the screen update then. And here we go, a little update. We can see that it's detected the Bitcoin has been sent to escrow. It's now going to await for confirmation. It says you have sent the Bitcoin to Collateral to the escrow. We're now waiting for the required 2 confirmations. You will receive a notification once the transaction is confirmed and BTC is securely locked in escrow. So effectively, in and around 20 minutes from now, give or take, we shall see this fully locked in escrow, and we should see the beginnings of our funds hitting Aqua wallet for our loan. Looking for a simple and secure way to manage your Bitcoin on mobile? Aqua Wallet has you covered. It's user-friendly and puts you in full control of your Bitcoin with secure self-custody. Aqua also supports Lightning and Liquid Network, making fast, cheap Bitcoin payments and asset transfers easier than ever. Plus, it even supports stablecoins, giving you ultimate flexibility. Built on open source code, Aqua is transparent, trustworthy, and perfect for beginner and pros alike. Ready to upgrade your Bitcoin experience? Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen now to download Aqua Wallet today. When it comes to peer-to-peer trading and lending, instant self-custody, and no KYC, HODLHODL is the place to be. You can sign up with just an email address, and once you're there, you can start browsing offers immediately, whether you're looking to buy and sell, or whether you're looking to lend or borrow. You can check them out today at the links down below. Securing your Bitcoin doesn't have to be complicated or invasive. With NUNCHUK's HONEYBADGER plan, you get state-of-the-art multisig with built-in inheritance planning and no KYC required. NUNCHUK is trusted by users to secure billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The HoneyBadger plan offers 204 assisted multisig, guiding you step by step on mobile or desktop. It works seamlessly with hardware wallets like TapSigner, Coldcard, Jade, and plenty of others, so you're always in control. Plus, with non-KYC inheritance planning, you can ensure your Bitcoin goes to your loved ones. No private info needed. Take control of your Bitcoin today. Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen to check out the HoneyBadger plan. We've now received the appropriate confirmations and we can see a pop-up here on the screen. Bitcoin is locked in escrow. The collateral has been securely placed in escrow, and a button, proceed to the next step, which we'll do now. It says the collateral has been secured, waiting for the lender to transfer the loan amount. You will receive a notification once the transfer has been made. And we can see our liquid address here that will be receiving the loan amount, just over $50 US. And we'll be back as soon as that pops up. Just a side note here that during all of this, if anything is funky or you need to speak with the person that is originating the loan, there is a chat on the side here, and you can type anything and let the person know. Not that the notifications aren't already there for them, but I can go ahead and I can press send, and the individual will see that. They'll be able to reply, and if I have any questions for them, or they have questions for me, or they need to take a moment to send the amount, that is totally fine, but that is there for your convenience as well. Now, jumping forward, we can see I have a notification. The loan is received by the borrower. Borrower has confirmed the receipt of the funds. So that means if I hit continue here, well, we can see that they replied. Awesome. We'll send funds now. And it says that the loan origination fee payment is required. Please make the payment of the loan origination fee to set the loan status in progress. Origination fee will be deducted from the escrow collateral. Notification has been sent to your mobile app, the Debifi app. Please proceed to the app. By the way, we can see that the tether has actually been sent and received here. There's a transaction link down below, so that's good. Let's jump over to the Debifi app here. And it says that the origination fee is required. I'm going to tap on that notification. And we need to pay this with the Coldcard Q. So it says sign the transaction to confirm deducting the origination fee from the escrow deposit. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to deal with the Coldcard Q for this part, so we'll jump over to the desk. Okay, so here in the application, I'm going to hit pay origination fee. Of course, my Coldcard Q is on and I've entered my PIN. I'm going to choose NFC method. It says step 1, turn on your Coldcard, enter the PIN, and then the following steps on your Coldcard. We're going to go settings, hardware on and off. This is just making sure, again, that our NFC is enabled. We're already good to go with that. Now it says we're going to go to ready to sign and hit enter. That's the main option on the first page. We'll hit enter. It says it's ready to sign spending transactions. It's going to show, we're going to scroll down and we're going to have options. How do we want to sign? And of course, we're going to be using NFC. So we're going to press NFC on the keyboard. That turns on the NFC scanner. And I'm going to press the button in the Debifi app, start PSBT, partially signed Bitcoin transaction, via NFC. So at this point, we'll make contact of the phone with the Coldcard Q. Okay, it tells us transaction is sent to the Coldcard device. Now the Coldcard is going to say, hey, it looks like you want to do a transaction, this amount. That's the network fee to the following address. Does that look okay? If you want to approve it, we hit enter. This now gives us the signed transaction, the approval to pay that fee. So we're going to hit continue. Again, it tells us exactly what we just did, approved it by hitting enter. And we're going to take that approval and send it back to the Debifi app. This allows us to review the transaction details. Hey, this is what you're doing. You're paying the origination fee for release. Does that look okay? We'll hit confirm and PIN. We also need the two-factor authentication code. So we'll tap to copy that. And we'll paste it in and hit submit. We've now paid our origination fee. Everything's good to go. We'll hit close. It does say awaiting origination fee payment, but I imagine that is an on-chain confirmation that we're waiting for, but we've done everything we need to do on our side. Back on desktop here, I can see that it says the loan is in progress, origination fee is paid, and the loan is good to go. So I'll hit continue here, and we can see everything is already. Of course, we had our funds in our Aqua wallet as is. And so now we would go forth with the loan. We would use the funds as we saw fit, whatever purpose we had for them. And then anytime inside of that 1 month period, we can make repayment here on Debifi and repay the total amount that is owing. So we can see here that we have our origination fee, we have our incoming transaction. This is all the history of the escrow that took place. We have the transfer of the loan here. And when we do want to make repayment, we would go to this button and proceed and follow through. So we're going to dive into loan repayment and the return of your collateral next. Let's repay our loan. And this process is nice and simple. We're going to be making a repayment, and we're going to be sending our repayment directly from here in Aqua Wallet. Now, side note, if you, of course, you were lent the original $50, but there will, or whatever your amount was, but there will be some interest that is also owing. So if you are currently sitting in Bitcoin and you need to swap and get more Tether, then you can actually just do that right within Aqua. It's pretty simple. You just go to the marketplace, you go to swaps, and then whichever you want to swap out of, so layer 2, like your Lightning and Liquid, or on-chain Bitcoin, you can select whichever one you want to swap out of, and then into Tether, you put in your amount, and you will have an additional Tether balance. Now, I've already gone and done that, of course. I've got a slightly higher Tether balance here, so I'm ready to make my repayment. So over here in Debifi, I'm going to tap on Make Repayment, and it says, okay, here's the QR code. You can copy the details, or you can simply just scan the QR code. Now, if you do want to see the full details of what is outstanding, I mean, it's pretty clear here, $50.29, but you can click on full contract details, and it does say, hey, there's the total amount owing, $50.29. So pretty simple to understand. Now, Debifi also wants to get the transaction information pasted into the browser there. And so what you're going to do is from your main screen within your Tether wallet, you're going to find the transaction you sent. You can see mine here. I'm going to tap on it. And then down below, there's two options. It says view confidential transaction or view unblinded transaction. The difference being that the top one just shows that a transaction took place on the Liquid blockchain, whereas the bottom one will show all of the denominations that were sent. And you want this second one. That's the link you're going to share. So I'm going to tap on that. It's going to take me to a browser window. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the little share button up top here. And then I'm going to copy this entire URL right there. And I'm going to paste that into Debifi where it asks me for the transaction ID. We're going to paste it in and we'll hit submit repayment. And so now that we've submitted that, all we're waiting on is for Debifi to check that this information is good to go. And then we will be moving on towards getting our collateral back. Okay, so back in the contract here, it says loan repayment confirmed. Lender has confirmed the receipt of funds. So I'll hit continue. And it now says your repayment has been verified and confirmed. Collateral is ready for a refund. Please provide your Bitcoin address for collateral refunds. So we'll get everything set up here and we're going to provide a regular Bitcoin address. Okay, so really simple here. I'm going to, in Aqua first, choose Bitcoin and receive. We're going to copy that Bitcoin address right there. Over here in Debifi, I'll hit provide BTC address. I can paste in what has been copied and I'll double check that it is the same in both locations. Looks good to me. And I can hit submit Bitcoin address. So it says, please confirm the Bitcoin refund from escrow. Your collateral will be refunded as soon as you and the lender sign the transaction. So it says the repayment address, everything down below is all good. And it looks like it can just click refund BTC. Notification has been sent to your mobile Debifi app. Please proceed through the app. So I'm going to pull that up on my phone now. In the Debifi app, I can click on collateral refund required. And it says, please confirm Bitcoin collateral refund to complete contract. And I can just now, provided public key is the Coldcard Q. I'm going to hit confirm and see where it takes us next. And this is going to require a signature from my Coldcard. So we'll jump over to that now so we can see that process. Back on the computer here, I can see contract completed, collateral released. Thank you for using our platform. I'll hit close there. Looks like the refund should be good, if I'm not mistaken. X out of that. And I can see here I'm on step 10 where contract is completed. So let's jump over to Aqua and make sure we have received our collateral. Okay, and here we are in Aqua. If I click on Bitcoin, I can see a received transaction just now, transaction ID, and for the amount that was deposited in Bitcoin on chain. So we are officially done here. We've gone through the entirety of the contract and gotten back our collateral. All right, so now that we've gone through the entirety of the loan process, let's get into the nitty-gritty about why you might consider a Bitcoin-backed loan. Now, Bitcoin-backed loans offer unique flexibility for those who want to retain ownership of their Bitcoin while still unlocking its value. Here are a few common use cases where they can make sense. So number one would be covering general expenses. Maybe you're between paychecks, you just want to smooth out cash flow without touching long-term stacks. Instead of selling Bitcoin, you can get a loan to help you get what you need and pay it back over time while staying exposed to Bitcoin's upside. Another example might be funding business expenses or opportunities. Maybe you've got a short-term opportunity to invest in your business or take advantage of a time-sensitive deal. Bitcoin-backed loans can be a way to deploy capital quickly without liquidating assets, especially useful if you believe Bitcoin's value will climb long-term. Another thing could be handling emergencies. Life happens, medical bills, family issues, unexpected repairs. If you're in a bind and you don't want to sell at what you feel is an inopportune time, borrowing lets you respond now and settle up later gradually. Also, you might want to make some sort of a large purchase. You've been stacking for a long time. The value of your Bitcoin has gone up, but you want to stay exposed. So whether it's a car, a home down payment, or something else that requires a lump sum, Bitcoin-backed loans can be used to bridge that gap, again, without losing your Bitcoin exposure or triggering a taxable event. Now, all of these scenarios that I've described can appeal to Bitcoiners in a few key mindsets. Number one, a lot of Bitcoiners that earn dollars and have Bitcoin as savings, they don't necessarily want to sell their Bitcoin. Also, a lot of people don't enjoy triggering taxable events by converting their Bitcoin to dollars. And of course, most Bitcoiners are very bullish on the long-term price of Bitcoin, so they want to stay exposed to that. Now, there is another use case, but I want to tread carefully here so that you are also cautious as a viewer. Some can use these loans to purchase more Bitcoin, which is a form of leverage. And so this is technically possible with Debifi. You do a loan, you get your USDT, and you use that USDT to purchase additional Bitcoin. So you've got some in the escrow of the multisig, and then you've got other Bitcoin that you've just bought with the loan dollar amount. Now, it does come with risk, and you need to weigh this risk. If the price of Bitcoin drops, you'll be expected to top up the collateral that's sitting in the multisig or risk getting liquidated. So if it's a long, drawn-out bear market, there can be instances, if you borrow near the top, that you could be required to post 3 to 4 times more Bitcoin than you had originally started with as collateral. So that's why I tend to recommend caution. Really, with any of these strategies, use a conservative portion of your stack and don't overextend. If you keep it conservative, you can keep it safe. Now, just a couple other quick notes here. If you happen to be checking out Debifi, you're going through the flow here, but you're not finding contracts that appeal to you, perhaps they are too large and you need something a little bit different, there is another website which the lovely people at Debifi are also responsible for creating. And this is lend.hodlhodl.com. You can also get peer-to-peer loans here. And a lot of the same mechanisms are in play here to help you through. So if you want to check them out as well, I'll include the link to them down below. And I do have a full tutorial on how that platform works, but either way, super awesome. And then finally, if you're curious to learn more about the Coldcard Q, which I've mentioned and we've used through this tutorial, then of course I will link down below to that so you can check them out too. Bitcoin-backed loans through Debifi give you a way to unlock liquidity while still holding your Bitcoin. Whether you're looking for flexibility in the short term or simply want to avoid selling your Bitcoin, this can be a valuable tool when used responsibly. In this video, you learned how to set up a Debifi account, secure it with 2FA, browse loan offers, and optionally add a layer of security and protection with the Coldcard Q, which is great. You also saw how to receive and repay your loan with confidence. Now, this won't be the right tool for everyone, but for those who understand the risks and want to stay long on Bitcoin, it can open up new possibilities. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check the show notes down below for related tutorials on Aqua Wallet, Coldcard Q, and Bitcoin basics. For one-on-one help with this or anything Bitcoin related, reach out to my team at bitcoinmentor.io anytime so you can secure your stack with confidence. And as always, keep stacking sats, keep stacking skills. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This was your daily session.